so we finished copper trees, and we started working on. Have we started working on the clay yet?
I did. So I
Okay.
wanted to make like a female deer.
Oh
So
yeah.
I have like her neck and stuff. But I sent a picture to Cole, and I was like, what does this look like? Because I was hoping he would say like a deer, but
Mm-hmm.
he said a windmill. So
So here, let me see it. Do you have it?
yeah, here, I'll turn on my.
Okay.
It looks like this.
Oh, it definitely looks like a deer. What did he say it looked like?
He said a windmill. Maybe.
Okay. So I think one of the things I would do is right now your ear is pretty flat.
Yeah.
Is I think I would get in there and I would hold the ear with my thumb and like an index finger or two fingers to kind of get it soft. And then their ears kind of, so right now your ear is this, and I'd make it like that.
I was like, kind of like cave it.
Yep.
Like, okay.
So I think if you get those round, it'll take out the propeller look to it. And then, okay, so let me
Yeah.
see your profile.
What do you say?
Let me see the profile.
Oh.
Because I think that's a really good shape. I would look at, okay, are you using real life images of a deer? Or are you doing it all from up here?
I was looking at a picture from Google, but it was like, I don't think it was made out of clay. Like it looks like I don't know, like I don't know what you like rock or something. I have no idea.
So probably like soapstone or something.
Yeah, something like that. Because they could like paint on it, and I thought that'd be really cool, but I don't think you can paint on wax clay, so
We could mold it. And there's a couple of easy ways that we could make molds from that. And if you really, really wanted to, I could get you the stuff. We can make a little plaster, make a little box, and then you can make a 2-part plaster mold. And then what you do is you could, the 2-part, because whatever you make inside of it, you can take the mold apart and pull out the stuff from the inside. If you make it a 1-piece mold, you have to break the plaster to get to what's inside. But you could make a 2-part mold and then melt out any of the wax clay that's inside of it. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff like you could do. You can make a silicone where you actually, and a cheap silicone is you could get, you can get a 2-part epoxy to pour in. You could get cheap silicone where you just inject in some silicone, let it harden, and then pull the mold apart, and then you'll have pieces. The nice thing about if you make a plaster mold, if we do a 2-part plaster mold, is it's going to last a really long time. And then you could do all sorts of things. You could even get, if you think of, okay, so back in my day, we used to go to, oh my gosh, the rec center in Maumee. So it was the Toledo Rec Center in Maumee, and they would have the old wax injected
oh yeah.
mold machines, and they would they were wax or plastic, and so it would smell like burning plastic, and they would inject it and it was thin. You could do that with this mold too. You could make it into a slip mold if it's plaster. Just coat the inside a little bit, and then you take clay and make it into like a slurry, like a melted frosty, and you can pour it in and you can swish it around and just make a thin coating of clay and then take it out, and then we could fire it. There's a lot of things we can do. Here's what I would do as I'm sculpting. So I'm going to share screens, pop, share, and I lost. Okay, so up here I typed in female deer, hit enter, go to images, and like this is a nice profile shot.
Mm-hmm.
You can see size of ear to size of head. Though it's a profile body, this is a pretty much straight on head shot. Here's a good close-up one. So depending on the type of deer you're doing, if you do, so there's like white-tailed deers, there's mule deers. We have a lot of mule deers around here. And it's just their coloration, and they pretty much have a similar body shape. But when you look at like shape of the ear and size of this to the size of head, how the nose and the mouth are, how the eyes are, and then you can think about, are you going to carve in the eyes? At your size, you could probably, if you have a BB or a little ball bearing, you could insert that in and sculpt around it with the clay. But I would, we don't want to go for the drama ones. If you have it in the round, you could do something like that where you have one ear forward and one kind of tapering away from us as it listens for sounds. Them some big old ears. That one looks like it might be photoshopped a little bit.
Yeah.
But I would look up a real deer as a reference.
Okay.
And the reason is you're going to get your lines in better. You're going to have better shapes for what you're making. If you go off of another person's artwork, so if I go back and I just put down like deer sculptures, I'm going to get something close, but this is an artist rendition. So the image is there, the icons are there, but it's not necessarily what a real deer looks like. And then we can decide on what we want to do with it when we're done. If we do, so this would be a 2-part mold here. And then like this is a 3-part mold for the little monkey guy because of the positioning. So you have chucks and keys so that the mold locks together. And like this one here, you can see it's chipped in the corner, but the actual object lives way up there. And here's the pour hole. So you can do a lot with a plaster mold that you can keep reusing. And then from there, we can do all sorts of stuff. I mean, you could pack clay into it. Like this is polymer clay just pressed into it. Actual ceramic clay placed inside of it. There's a lot of things you can pour plaster inside of the plaster mold. These are 2-part plastic molds. So there's a lot of options if you wanted to do that, but you don't have to.
Okay.
So for our part, we're doing, we're using a reusable source and we're making something from it. So the idea eventually was, and there's this great company. So if you really, really are liking it and you really think, hey, this is something I want forever, there's a company called Smooth On. And I'll share again. So this is their logo. They make all kinds of molding equipment. I think the closest place to us is Chicago, but like some of the art stores, which are currently closed, make or sell some of their stuff. And if we go here, like these are latex rubber. So they have their piece. They just pour in the bronze to make it bronzed. This is what I wanted to do but it's a little expensive. We did them in school, and it wouldn't be bad if we were doing it for the class in that. But I wanted to make molds, and then you guys could keep the molds, and you could make everyone could make one copy of what they were going to do. but like here's all the stuff that we could, this is all their molding stuff. And then it goes in, it tells you like a little bit about each one and what they can do. They have how-to videos. So these are actually making parts. That's actually making a copy of yourself. Big walls. But we could do something like, not prototyping, it'd be similar to it where we make 2-part molds and then you just have the piece all casted when you're done. Taxidermy. So, but like something like this where you get a 2-part epoxy, you could fill it inside of a plaster mold and we'd seal the plaster first. So at the bottom you can see it wouldn't be a single set mold. It would be more of a, so this is going through the stages of doing a single set. So they make the carving, cover it with the stuff. Once it dries, they pour in what they're going to make their mold from. So this is liquid plastic. And then once it hardens, you just peel it out. And we would be doing more something like that. Oh, I think I lost you. I did. So for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to work on, yeah, I know. We're going to work on getting into, so we're going to check our proportions. We're going to work on our details because you're at the point now where you should be detailing it.
Okay.
So, and then you have a good neck. You don't necessarily have to do shoulders. So what I might do is I might take and either hold a piece so it gets really mushy or liquefy it a little bit and then pour it onto like that piece of foam core that I gave you so that you have a little bit of a base and then press the neck into that little liquid spot. Wait a few minutes for it to cool and then it'll be mounted to the board. Or you can just hold the bottom of it so it gets warm and then just kind of form it down onto the board.
Okay.
For the one that I made, that's all I did is I just held it in my hand. I took a little piece of clay, I held it in one hand while that got soft and held the back of the head in the other hand. And then when this one was soft enough, I put it down, put the other one and kind of smushed them together. And that's how I stuck to the board. And then for me pressing on it, it just pushed it down onto that piece of foam core or
Okay.
tag board, whatever I gave you guys for it. So, so trees are done. And if we haven't finished trees, we want to make sure that we get pictures, not just one view, but best view, side view, top view of our tree. So we have a 360 kind of look to it. And then we're going to work all this week on clay and detailing clay and trying to make those as much as we can. So you're going to decide how the fur is going to look. Because when we look at the image of the deer, very fine fur on the face, and then are you going to get a little thicker in through the neck? Is it going to have a winter coat or a summer coat? That's thickness of fur there. So, and then shape up your ears, get those in the right shape. It doesn't have to be 100% realistic deer. Now, I said use real images, but as the artist, you're going to make artistic choices. So, like, your ears are real tall. Keep that. If you say aesthetically, I like that balance. I have a long nose and I have tall ears. Keep that balance. So I'm not going to take off points and say, hey, Sarah, here's an image of a deer. Here's yours. This isn't the same. It's your artistic interpretation of a deer. But I wouldn't work from other artists' images. I mean, if you like how a head twists or like how they have like a pose, you could use that as your information. If you want to try to give it, if you want to emote onto it, not emoji, but actually if you want to have it like giving us an eye or smiling at us, you can do that too, because that's part of your artistic interpretation. Cool. And then after that, we're going to look at foam cube. And we're going to start to do abstract expression inside of that. And then we're doing monsters.
In the foam.
We're going to do foam as abstract, and that'll take us through the rest of April. And then monsters will be all of May. Monsters will be the paper mache.
Gotcha.
So start saving newspaper.
Yeah, me and my mom still have to go right to my grandparents to go grab their newspaper.
That way you're not driving around the neighborhood on recycling day and stealing people's newspapers.
Yeah, my neighborhood like doesn't have the recycling pickup. We have to like take it to I forget where it's at, like where you go voting and stuff. It's over there. But like Whisperwood and stuff has it because they're like in the city or whatever, and we're not. So but they have like trash cans of it. So like I'd have to like open trash cans.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird.
Jump in, yeah.
There's that girl. She's out there jumping in our recycling again. Poor homeless girl. That could be kind of a fun video to make.
I feel like, I don't know, a lot of like the people that live in Whisperwood are kind of old. It's like, I feel like they'd be like really mean about it. Like they wouldn't be the nice old people.
Yeah, they'd be the...
They like pull out the shotgun and be like, get off my lawn. Like,
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't know. I just feel like people in Whisperwood just think that they're so entitled. But
well, we definitely don't want to get shot.
No.
Maybe drive by, because isn't the one fire station over there? One of the fire stations has a bunch of recycling stuff by it too. I don't know if they have just a paper one. Because then you're getting that like yucky stuff. Because general recycling, I mean, like my neighborhood, we have to do a big bin for recycling, and there's no way. Like, I'm always telling the wife, don't throw out the newspaper. I need it, and then she'll be like, oh, I already put it in the recycling. I'm like, okay, it's dead, because there's cans and there's bottles and there's.
That's kind of weird.
That's my doggy. He's saying hi to somebody.
So is mine. There's a bunch. It's the mailman.
It could be the mailman as I look at the time.
I say mine's definitely a mailman.
All right, so we'll Wednesday we're gonna double check and see how we're doing on clay.
Okay.
Sound cool?
Good. Mm-hmm.
Do you have all the tools you need? Everything's going well?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what I can use around the house for like eyes, because I like the BB idea, but I don't think we have any. I can look around, but.
All right, so one of the things you can do, this is going to be too small. So I'm going to say sometimes, but it's going to be too small. If you have an old, see if I can get this to focus. If you have an old Bic pen, but I think that might be too, I still think that ball is going to be too small for your eye. See, this is good. This is good. If you have any push pins, like for sewing, so if you have a sewing kit somewhere, some of them have on top of, instead of a flat top, they have a little bead. So all they do is they glue a plastic bead on the back of the pin. So you can check those. And if you're real careful, you can pop the bead off. If you have any old toys, like old baby dolls, sometimes they put like little plastic beads on their clothes. Trying to think of where else could we find. This could become an adventure, where to find a little bead around the house.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'll think on it and see what else I can come up with and see. Of course, I keep a lot of weird junk, which makes my wife happy. And I'll see where I find things, and if I can find something, I'll be like, hey, try this.
Okay.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, we have like the little sewing needles, so I'll have to see if I can
See if any of them
steal
have a
some.
little, yeah, see if any of them have a little bead on the back.
Okay.
And I'll keep thinking about it too. I'm sure I'll think of something.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
my parents might have ideas too, so I'll ask them.
Yeah, just show them your deer, because I'm gonna guess you probably need something around 3 or 4 millimeters.
Yeah.
So there could be something. Oh, if you have an old skate, like a broken skate, sometimes they have the ball bearings from inside of those in the wheels, or an inline skate, the ball bearings that are inside of the inline skate, if you have old wheels.
I have skates, but I don't know if I have them anymore.
See,
It might be in the attic.
there you go. Let you
I'll
go
go
dig a little.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got for today.
Okay.
And I'll see you Wednesday, and I'll work on your letter today. What I'll do is I'll send you a rough draft to say, hey, how does this sound? If you think about it, email me. All right. Yeah, we're not going to record this. Hang on.